and then send it to buyers to get approvals. This is mainly helped with exporters, and now presently it is being adapted to domestic brands also, like Madura, Reliance, and you name it, whoever it is, they are all looking into it because of this COVID situation, right? The major objective of 3D is all about fit, how the garment fits, and then due to COVID situation and distance and time availability, sample approval becomes more tedious and long process. Sending the sample by courier, getting it approved, all those steps take a lot of time. So all these things are eliminated with the 3D samples. Most of the companies have started adapting to it. We have started this 3D software in 2005, 2006. A company from Sri Lanka, they got this 3D technology. They adapted it to Tesco buyers, and they also recognized that, and they gave an award for them for innovation in their sampling process. So right from there till today, there are a lot of apparel companies who are getting into 3D, and I feel this technology has to be learned by all students who are passing out, and as faculties, you have to have one step ahead on this technology knowledge, and you can distribute this knowledge to all your students, right? And let me play a video to explain. Please inform me if audio is not there. I'm
Okay.
going to have to change my settings in case if it is not there.
Okay.
3D fashion design is a powerful tool to see how a garment will look
Is it audible?
Yes, sir, it is audible.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
before it is cut and sewn. Tuca 3D takes virtual product development beyond design and into true 3D fitting. With an engineered design process powered by Tucatech's end-to-end fashion technology solutions, the 3D designer's creativity is backed up by smart technical fit. Tuca 3D models are sculpted from 3D body scan data, capturing the correct measurements, shape, and posture of live fit models. Tuca 3D models are animated with real-time motion simulation to analyze garment fit with movement. Once the 3D virtual model is created, the body shape is flattened to a 2D sloper pattern. The 2D sloper is a tracing of the unique curves and contours of the fit model's body, such as the shoulder slope, armhole, bust, waist, and hip. This sloper will become the master template for all future styles developed for this model. Sloper patterns are generated in Tuca APM for automatic pattern making. Though pattern making is a craft historically passed down by artisans, today's computers can learn the logic of pattern making, so a person of any skill level can create beautiful 2D patterns. The model's measurements are entered into the sloper specification sheet, including seam allowance and grade rules. Tuca APM generates a graded sloper pattern, which is ready to drape in Tuca 3D. The sloper pattern is added to Tuca 3D from the Tuca design system. The pattern pieces are arranged around the 3D fit model, and the seam stitching is defined. As the garment is draped, the 3D sloper fits the model like a glove. Next, she simulates actions performed during a live sample fitting. Real-time motion simulation is added directly in Tuca 3D without the need for another 3D software. The sloper is analyzed in motion with tension mapping views in stretch and pressure mode and can be isolated to the warp and weft directions. X-ray mode applies transparency to the fabric surface to check the balance and ease of the garment. Any styles built from the sloper will fit correctly the first time. After the shapes of the fit model's body are captured in a 2D sloper pattern, the pattern maker only needs to change the ease or style lines rather than start with a new pattern or ill-fitting reference block. The pattern maker draws the style lines directly onto the sloper template and shortens or lengthens the piece to suit the new silhouette. After all adjustments are finished, the 3D operator simply updates the draped 3D sloper to apply the pattern changes for the new style. All changes made to existing pattern pieces are applied without resetting the entire 3D draping process. Only the new pattern pieces need to be arranged and stitched. Because the pattern maker used the 2D sloper pattern as a template, they do not need to spend as much time verifying the fit for the new style. Colorways can be applied by the 3D sample maker in Tuca 3D or by a graphic designer in the print visualizer module of Tuca 3D Designer Edition. The simulated garment brought into the print visualizer is a blank 3D canvas for prints, logos, or textures. Prints added from the material editor can be scaled on the 3D garment. Designers have a built-in Pantone color library for solids. Designers can take advantage of the print visualizer graphic integration if they prefer to create colorways in their favorite graphic design software. They simply create artwork on the flat pattern layout and apply the finished design to the 3D garment surface. The designer analyzes all colorways as a 3D storyboard. They can render the storyboard or individual 3D garments for presentations and sharing. 3D garments are shared to internal or external teams on Tuca Cloud, the web-based digital sample room that connects every person involved with virtual product development to one platform. The process is repeated for every style developed for a brand to maintain a consistent fit regardless of product category.
Yes, now that was a small video which was explaining the 3D software working. For 3D software, we need three fundamental things. That is the right fit model, and then the fabric with the properties, and then the patterns. And you could see the new technology has come up with an automatic pattern making module where you can make the patterns, basic shapes of that particular garment, and then just make the modification on that for new styling designs, and then bring it on 3D, drape it, and you can also export those patterns onto any of your print design softwares like Photoshop, Illustrator, Corel, or even Tuca Studio, and you can apply the fabric on top of it, and then save that file and bring it in 3D viewer or designer edition, and you can see how it looks, right? So here I would like to highlight a point that is model. See, in those days we were having a lot of room on the measurements that garment that we have to produce, right? So there was nothing as such checked other than major critical measurements by QAs. Say for example, if I had my garment length and width of chest I would have a tolerance of 1 inch in those days. Now it's not like that. The tolerance have come up to even 1/8 of an inch, which is very, very less, and there is no chance of making error. So we have to be very, very perfect. And in those days, we were testing the garments on by measurements only. Nobody had an thinking of putting on a model and see how it fits and all those steps. Now the customers demand and the buyers way to improve themselves and to make them unique in the market. They have hired models, and they have called the models to check all the garments and see how it is fitting. So in Asia, where we do our samples and then we measure it with the tape, and once we feel all are okay, we send that garment out, right? We never send to buyer an wrong sample by knowing it. According to us, it was right, and we were sending that to buyer, and guess what? Buyer comes up with lots of comments and corrections, and they wanted us to do. In the industry, even today, the average samples that you send for a style to get the final approval is 3. And if it is in specialized garments like leather jackets and dresses, it may go up to 5 to 6. So many corrections and so many fit problems was coming up. So they wanted to eliminate all those things. And there was if when I say 3 samples for one style, then there is a 3 courier package which is going, and each time it was taking a week to reach them. And another example is they have to once a sample approved, it's not immediately they check the fit and give you the comment on the same day. No, they have to call up model, find her appointment, find her availability, take appointment. Then all the decision makers of that company should be there, fit analyst, fit technicians, pattern maker, everybody should be there. So they fix in time, and it takes a huge cost for the buyers. And for us, we are running out of time on the production date. See, whenever a customer gets an inquiry, there is an target or a delivery date is fixed. So that's how the fashion industry works. So it doesn't matter how long we take, what corrections we do, the delivery date doesn't change, because it has to be on the stores on that particular season, so to get that sale happen, right? So the more time taken to get approval on samples is the time we taken up by in our production. So most of the cases it will be for the shipment will be through sea. If we are getting delayed on approvals, then it has to be air shipped, which is a huge cost compared to sea shipment to air. So 3D is helping in a lot of way to get this issues sorted out. When we make a 3D sample, we can send them a digital way to see or look into the samples, right? So we don't even have to have the decision makers to be there. We don't have to call the model in-house. We can do virtually. Another thing is, as a vendor, I don't measure it on a table on a flat. I also have a model, virtual model of what buyer was looking at, right? So I will see all the problems before even buyers see it with the 3D. So what happens is I myself make sure that it fits on the body, and when I make this virtual sample and send it to buyer, then it gets approved anyway. So by doing this exercise, or by getting into this technology itself, will save a lot of fit errors. Of course, there are other things like what happens is designers would have thought something and they would have sketched something out, and when they see on a live model, I mean the virtual live model, garment is draped with actual patterns and actual fabric properties, then the drape wise they will have a look and they will think maybe this is not correct. I may have to reduce the length or increase or give some more ease on sleeves. All those ideas they get in, and those corrections also can be eliminated, which we cannot as a vendor or as a manufacturer. We cannot avoid that corrections, but virtually we can do it. And finally, we can send one actual sample after all approved things. The total objective of 3D technology is to reduce number of samples, do everything virtually, and make one final sample and send it. In case if people are using 3D technology and getting approval, and still if they are doing 2 to 3 samples, then they are doing something wrong on the 3D technology and how they use it. So students who pass out from fashion industry, they should know the real objective of 3D and how that can be helpful for the industry. Main objective is to save the samples, right? And which is a huge cost. Models, real models are scanned, body scanned, like you saw the video how it was done. Even if there are a lot of models who don't accept for body scanning, so we just take their points of measurements and we sculpt it in 3D software. So that is also possible. These days, even Alvenon Farms, all big companies working with models and farms, they also have come up with 3D adaptable version of their dummies, right? Of course, yeah, dummies doesn't work. Even though they bring it on 3D, it is 50% success only. And because dummy shape and model shape is completely different, and even though buyer recommends for those dummies, still the fit is not the real one as the one which is worn by live model. The another area is you make a sample virtually and you see it on front, back and side view or 360-degree view, which is really not helpful. What we have it is simulation, where you simulate it on the animation frames with 100 frames or 80 frames, where you really see how it is getting draped. And if you have observed the previous video, you could have seen that there are different animations on a regular walk, catwalk, and turnaround pose. So all these animations are very helpful based on the functionality of that particular garment that we are producing. If it is a bicycle apparel manufacturing company, then they will have that related animation to it, right? So I'm going to play another video which is similar to it to have an understanding about the styling, what we could do, and the prints what we can work with. So please watch this video as well.
Think differently and reverse the product development process. Instead of starting from a sketch, pattern, or physical sample, start from a 3D fashion asset. TukaWeb provides a variety of ready-made 3D templates that were made from real 2D CAD patterns approved for fit. Choose a style, then choose a model, and bring the blank garment into the Tuka 3D Designer Edition Visualizer software. Create colorways with your own artwork and visualize the results instantly. Integrate with your favorite graphic design software, such as Adobe Photoshop, and view multiple colorways at one time. Render your designs directly in the software and create 3D line sheets. Make comments and approve styles before any physical sampling is done. After a design is approved by the entire team, purchase the related pattern for $5 on TukaWeb. Make minor modifications in the intuitive TukaCAD software, then immediately go to production. Instead of spending several days and thousands of dollars on the cost of development, design your products in only 1 hour for less than $15. Reverse the development process. Think differently.
Yes. Now, what we have seen is innovative idea that is you don't develop it from the way how traditionally we do it. We first, as a merchandiser, we order for fabric. We sample yardage is ordered, and then we ask our pattern maker to develop pattern for that particular fabric. Once it is there, then we try to cut it, and then we make the first look sample, which we know that it is not going to be approved. We send it, and then we expect the corrections anyway, right? So that first sample, we don't have to do it. We could have done it virtually. So you think on a reverse engineering process, you do that in a different way, where you go into online and not to web, anywhere you can get in and buy the garment which is close to your design, and then you apply the prints and all those stuffs. So it is not going to be the design what you actually expected or what your designers wanted it. It is close garment to that, and then you apply the prints and you show whatever the designs that you could create, and then take feedback from your buyer or your clients. And after you get the feedback, then you can purchase the patterns. You don't have to do from the scratch for that. You can purchase it online, and then you take the pattern and do the modifications. After you do the modifications, you apply it and show that this is my real sample, and this is what the corrections that you have asked for. So meaning I just skipped one sample making process itself, and I got to the right place where I have all my patterns corrected, right? And then I request for the approval, which is no time wasted. And by the time I get my sample yardage in-house, I would have done this step, and already I would have approved in the industry, right? I'm going to play another video, which is the earlier one was Western, and this is ethnic wear.
Visualize intricate embroidery and beading before any physical sampling is done with the Tuka 3D Designer Edition Visualizer. Tuka Web offers 3D fashion assets with styles varying from Western to Eastern designs, such as kurtis, kurta pajamas for both men and women, saris, and even wedding dresses. Each 3D asset comes with tools like mini tech packs to make the product development process easier. View the number of pieces that come with the style, basic pattern measurements, pattern card, model measurements, and fabric information. Apply artwork and create colorways directly in the Visualizer software. Adjust the scale of repeat patterns, apply opacity to individual pieces, or even delete parts of the garment to only evaluate specific areas. Every 3D asset also comes with a true-to-scale flat pattern layout to create the artwork layout in the graphic design software of your choice. Simply edit the image, save the file, and apply the changes in the Visualizer software with a click of a button. Render images of the garment directly in the software to send to other team members for evaluation. Team members can make comments, and any changes can be applied in only a few minutes. The product development cycle is significantly reduced with no money or time spent on physical sampling until the final look of the garment is achieved with 3D visualization. When the design process is completed, purchase the pattern on Tuka Web for only $5 and go straight to production. Apply the same concept of limitless design to all types of silhouettes, such as kurtis, kurta pajamas, and saris. Think differently, think ahead, and reverse the process of development.
So this is how the technology is now, and people are all trying to do everything digital. get approvals, and then make a final sample. Right? Even the one which I showed you was ethnic wear. You would have heard brand names like W, Fab India. All those people are using this technology already, especially with this work from home concept due to COVID. They wanted to do all the approvals digital, get the sprints done, and then bring the design their garments on the stores when season hits, right? So this is also applicable for every areas, even for students or colleges where they have to teach pattern students on pattern making. They can rent the software online and get that installed on the students' computers in home, and then they can use that software for a month to do their courses from home, right? So that's also available. And this in this case, if you would have understood that it's all 3D graphic design files like prints and all those high rendered qualities, meaning it is all sizes, huge sizes. You cannot send it, share it through emails, and you need to have some platform. So all 3D companies, including Tukatech, we have some solution called the cloud versions, cloud option for 3D customers, because patterns and markers, yes, you can email it bunch of pattern files or a bunch of marker files. You have a format called DXF, which is data exchange format, to send it in a common format to able to open in any other CAD systems. But when it comes to 3D, it's being a new technology throughout the world. Still, the common formats have not applied to all the 3D brands which is available in the market. There are formats like OBJ and FPX, but not 100% compatible. They had to share all their 3D designs to the customers who are located anywhere or any part of the world. So they needed this cloud help on that. So I'm going to play a video for cloud connectivity, how it works. You can have a better understanding on what I'm trying to explain you.
Simplify design and fit analysis in Tuka 3D, the complete system for virtual sample making. The digital pattern is added into Tuka 3D from the Tuka design system for pattern making. Fabric properties are selected from the extensive library to give the appropriate stretch, weight, and stiffness to the garment. The customized 3D avatar is based on the brand's real fit model measurements and shape to keep zero tolerance between the real and virtual samples. These three components, pattern, fabric, and model, are the key to using 3D for true-to-life design and fit analysis. The pattern pieces are arranged around the fit model's body and stitching is applied. When draping the garment, hiding pieces allows the operator to drape certain sections of the garment separately. This lets the development team catch any mistakes early on so that the final result is the best representation of the design. Next, the garment is animated with custom motion to simulate actions performed during a live sample fitting. Motion simulation is added directly in Tuka 3D without the need for any other software. Fit is analyzed in motion with tension mapping views. The stretch intensity shows as a color range, with red indicating where the fabric is the most stretched and blue indicating where the fabric is loose. Stretch analysis can even be isolated to the warp and weft directions, showing exactly where the pattern maker might need to adjust the digital pattern. Pressure mode shows where the garment is compressing against the body. X-ray mode applies transparency to the fabric surface, which allows the operator to check the balance and ease of the garment. When the fit is approved, the design is enhanced with color and texture. The Tuca 3D material editor includes access to the Pantone color library and allows X-Text captured fabric texture files to be applied in one step. There's even an option to edit colors and textures in a flat space using your favorite graphic design software, empowering designers to collaborate in the development process. Render videos and images of the garment directly in Tuca 3D. These renders can be used for digital showroom presentations or uploaded to Tuca Cloud with a 3D sample for approval. The globalized product development process is connected in Tuca Cloud, the web-based digital sample room. Designers can filter through samples by status, season, category, or other attributes. The 3D sample folder contains all files relating to that style, including tech packs and measurement charts, fit analysis videos, and colorway information. Colorway subfolders show how the design looks, as well as the prints, logos, and other elements that were applied. In the 3D viewer, the designer can rotate, zoom, and pan a 3D model to see the details of the garment from any angle. Notifications for new styles, colorways, and comments are sent only to those who have been given special viewing permissions, so everyone involved with the style can track the history with full transparency. Comments about the virtual sample are made in the style chat, which is linked to that iteration of that sample. Since there is no software required, the designer can approve the digital samples anywhere, anytime. Approved 3D samples become digital assets, which means less redundancy and resources spent during product development on future styles. Tuca Cloud facilitates collaboration between buyers and merchandisers and vendors and manufacturers by visually connecting the design process under one digital roof.
Yes, as you saw here, the first part of it was more highlighting on the analysis of fit in terms of tension, pressure, stretch, and then X-ray view. Why? Because a virtual 3D model cannot give a feedback by her own, like live model. Live model, she wears it and she can say where it is tight or loose, how she feels comfortable or not. So all those things has to be analyzed by the 3D user or the fit technician who has to take decision on it. So we needed all those different types of viewing ability in 3D. So once, yes, I have got those viewing ability in 3D. Now, how do I show that to buyer and without any attachments, transfer links, uploading and downloading all those stuffs. So that's where this cloud comes into play. And this is how Tuka Cloud works. Is you have an account for every manufacturer. You 3D user uploads it, whatever the work he has done with all different types of views, like attention view, X-ray view, or with the different color combinations or combos. And then anybody who are going to take decision, he or she doesn't have to have the 3D license, or doesn't have to go to that station. They can work from their desktop. They can log in and they can view all those things, zoom in, rotate 360-degree on their screen itself, and then make any corrections to those, not corrections, give any comment on that, where there is a style chat also involved, and they can type in all the comments over there. And what happens, this cloud web-based application keeps track for each and every style within that, holding all the chat communications happened. Which is much better than the emailing, where multiple persons email for one particular style and all of them are in one inbox, and to pull it out and put in, it's a tedious process. Whereas this one makes their life easier, which is a new way of storage area, I can say, where you can get all the things connected to that particular style within that. You also have the pattern file within that. You have the tech pack within that. You have all your sketches within that attached to them. And anybody who needs whatever information, they can just click and download the required files what they needed. Of course, the permission is given by the admin rights of that company, and they decide who has permission to download the patterns or markers, whatever it is, even the 3D files that is required by their team, right? So that's about on this video. And then you can see in this video we have seen the denim, where you can bring the wash effects and all those stuffs in 3D with the help of Photoshop, and then the look how it comes. It also explained little bit of stitching areas, and the beauty of this cloud web-based communication is every day when you log in, you will get an alert what are the styles that you have to focus on, so you don't miss anything. Okay, and of course you can also have specialized software for simple prints and fabric designs, like colorways, beads, views, jacquards, knits, storyboard. You can make a presentation on storyboard also for your fabric design, what you have done. With 3D technology, the storyboard has become an obsolete one, where 3D is much more better in communication, and because it is a life scale, the actual pattern, the way how it fits, we can visualize it. Okay, So till now we had seen the hot topic of apparel industry, which is 3D, and with various ways of handling it, how it is done, and all those process you have understood. Let's get into the custom clothing. Custom clothing is uh, mainly for men's wear. Everybody, everywhere it is there. Like men's suit is much popular in Japan and in Thailand. In India also, we have some of the factories coming up with it. There are a lot of people who do for domestic, and also there are a lot of people who do exports for sitting from uh, Bangalore and Chennai and Mumbai, right? So you can what do I say? This is how it works. Is you have your standard styles. Okay, you have 5 styles or 10 styles. What depending upon your own capability, your own factory in-house requirements. And for those styles, you have options of multiple fabrics and multiple variations with small. Like for shirt, if you take, you have a cutaway collar, you have a regular collar, you have an narrow collar, you have different types of cuff, different types of pockets. So each style out of 5 or 10, within that there are a lot of variations. On top of that, you also have different accessories coming into it, thread colors and all those stuffs. So in custom clothing, there are I would like to highlight 2 of it majorly. It's like you have made to order. Made to order is your your sizes doesn't change. You go to that website and you pick up your size. Say for example, I like Raymond's size 42 and I fit it on that. So I can go and place the order for size 42. But I also have an option to choose the fabric. I have option to choose my button size and trims, thread colors. So what happens is this we call it as made to order, meaning my size doesn't change. It's a standard size I'm picking up, meaning I don't have to change any of those things in patterns. Whereas my fabric, my choice of fabric, my choice of trims, and my choice of accessories are included in that, right? So that we call it as made to order. And then the next one is made to measure, meaning they take your measurements and they make the garment for the choice of fabric that you have chosen and the choice of your accessories, also to your measurements. They call it, a lot of people they say that it's the size is your size, you wear it, and you don't wear any of the standard sizes, you fit in different. I would like to highlight a point here. Took a take long back ago. We had to make a project for our army, and we did the sizing of those people, and we came up with 130 sizes. You can't imagine that many people, that much variation within the one segment, army people, where they choose a good fit body and height, right? So within that we had 130 sizes, and we had to make patterns for those things. Yeah, that's why this custom clothing has become very important. And in today's situation, it has come up with women's wear also, women's wear westerns, and ethnic wear also. A lot of people coming up with the custom stuffs, which you cannot. They are going to give you the ready-made garment quality, but for your size and for your measurements. It's slightly different from the tailoring, the regular old-fashioned tailoring. Or you can say the tailoring industry has evolved now newly with technology adaptation for all the processes, right from taking measurements till the garment is made. Finishing machines, sewing machines, all specialized sewing machines, and all kinds of accessories that you could get from export garment, you can do the same thing with custom clothing. So I'm going to just play a small video to explain you more on this, how this process of made to measure pattern making is taken care.
The TUCA-CAD automatic pattern making and automatic marker making system allow you to gain more with less work. In only a few minutes, automatically generate graded patterns and create markers that calculate the yield of a garment in order to estimate cost. Simply take the measurements from any tech pack and input the numbers into the TUCA-CAD APM module. Choose from basic men's and women's styles and add as many sizes as needed. With the click of a button, a graded pattern will automatically be generated. Add any necessary shrinkage, then save the pattern to create a marker. Set the marker size, determine the number of bundles per size, and let the automatic marker making system do the work for you. While the system is creating a marker, create reports for a tech pack such as a detailed pattern card. After the marker is complete, add a yield report to the tech pack you already started. Export reports to Excel for easy editing, viewing, and sharing. View the yield per bundle, the number of pieces per bundle, and even a mini marker. Minimal effort is required to receive the information needed for basic costing. Make your production process easier and faster and subscribe to TUCA-CAD APM on TUCA Web today. TUCA-CAD APM, the apparel industry's first automatic pattern making system.
So that video was explaining you how to handle costings in the garment industry with the automatic pattern making module, which is no difference for custom clothing. I can directly type the measurement of that particular of my customer and create a fresh pattern for that customer, and let it be trousers or denim pant or my shirt or t-shirt. I can make it instantly, and then whatever the corrections that minute things that I have to do, I can do it, and then go for my production for the fabric what they have chosen, right? And now I'm going to play another video which is the different way of or different approach on the custom clothing.
The measurement chart is an important tool for pattern makers to keep a record of their specs of point of measure. TUCA Design has a unique and powerful tool called measurement chart. Users can define any point of measurement, and this gets added to the chart. If the block is graded, you will see the entire graded spec. And if the pattern has shrinkage added, you can enter that value and see the before wash and after wash measurements. Now, if we go in and change one of the measurement lines values, for example, if I select the thigh here, and I can currently see that it's 18 3/16. Let's increase this to 19 inches, and here I'll make the adjustment horizontally. Now, if I go back and look at my measurement chart and look at the thigh measurement, which is here, the new measurement is 34 5/16. If I undo to see what it was previously, I can go back and look at my measurement. Again, on the thigh, before it was 33.5 inches. This is on the base size 40.
Yeah, so this video explains you about our measurement chart feature, which is almost available in major CAD systems, and this measurement chart is extended for tailor edition or custom clothing industry, where user can go and go to that particular size and type in the measurements which he has to change it. So in this trouser example, if he has to if we have to increase thigh measurements, we can increase thigh or length or knee, whatever point of measurements we want to do corrections, we can do it. So this will help the tailoring industry or custom clothing industry to make quick adjustments on the pattern and then print it and cut. So you don't have to give you a practical example, there's a company in Mumbai and they have their outlets, showrooms across the globe. Manufacturing is happening in Mumbai. So you practically, if they have to run that show without any technology, they should have had each location, they should have had a pattern master and a cutting guy to do it, and they should have fabric in-house to with all those people and do it. Where you cannot give a lot of varieties of fabrics in each and every store. If you have to do, then you have to spend a lot of money on that in terms of storing all kinds of fabric in all locations. So what they have done is they have centralized it and applied the technology, and every store has a person who measures the customer and feed in the measurements online on their website, and that measurements are converted and sent to the centralized location where manufacturing is happening. There they use option to download it, and they download customer name and order number wise file name in an XML format, and that is directly imported onto cut tailor design, which is compatible, and the patterns gets automatically changed with the measurements what customer has. I mean the guy who is the stylist, we call them a stylist in the store, whatever he has entered, it gets imported. So measurements all have tallied to that customer instantly. Now go to the order sheet and make the corrections of what kind of styling they needed. Say for example, I don't need this collar, I want a different collar, I want my cuff to be this shape or that shape, whatever it is, they just quickly have a look and make it, and immediately they print it on a paper, and that paper is put along with the fabric what they have selected with the accessories, and they send it to the sewing floor where cutting happens, and transfer that cut parts to the sewing room people. In traditional pattern making software, in a day, in a 8-hour shift, a pattern maker does a max of 8 patterns per 8 styles or 8 patterns per day, 8 to 10 in Tuka. And when it comes to this MTM, they masters do up to 100 to 150 patterns per day. That much order quantity. It's like once they make one pattern, it is for one customer, right? So their capacity per day should be, if it is per day they produce 1,000 pieces, then they have to have that many masters. So in this case, with this made to measure, it's much faster, and it is more affordable to handle their process. So next area is demand manufacturing. Now, what happens is that this is another new area of apparel industry which is coming up. We call this as demand manufacturing. The thing is, you have the brand and you have the sizes. Now you don't want to manufacture the garment until and unless you sell them. Okay. There are industries where you have these kind of stuffs, like for example, bicycle apparel. The patterns and sizes are going to be the same. It's only the graphic designs put on that bicycle apparel, cycling apparel is what going to change, and you cannot sell. It's not like a mass sales, right? No. Hardly they will sell a few hundred pieces in a month across the globe. So they don't want to produce it, keep it in stock, and wait until that is sold, right? So they start doing it with on-demand manufacturing. Not only the bicycling place. This is just an example. It can be for an wedding suit. It can be for ghagras, or it can be for anything where you don't want to waste your money on making the whole garment and then waiting for that garment to be sold. Like Tarun Kalyani uses our technology to do the same thing. So he has everything, and he will not cut it until that customer has confirmed that particular fabric and that particular embroidery or design. So once everything is finalized, then he produces it. That's why he takes a bit more time to produce it, right? So now, in case if I have to do it in a short time, then this is the way how technology works. I'm going to give you an example or a testimonial from a customer who is doing this, giving us how they do it. Okay, so.
So hi, this is Prabhat. Basically, I'm heading Nsftid. Nsftid is a sub-brand for makeup sourcing, and the main idea behind the brand and the company is that we really want to move towards really high-tech technologies in means of product development, pattern development, print development, and brand development. So the circle basically starts off from a single sketch. And once the sketch is handed over to the pattern maker, he works on the pattern. And once the pattern is developed, print designer tags the required prints, placements, and everything.
And then you take it into the 3D to model it, fix your pattern, see where the fabric isn't falling right, see the loose areas, the tight areas, which are all color-coded, easy to understand. And then taking that to a final design stage, and then you cut a final garment, which is very hard. And that's enabled us to come up with 100 styles without physically sampling till everything is approved.
Once the marking making is done, the file is transferred to print machine and we take out the print of fabric. We don't waste ink on the excess area and we right away print the area which is required. And the panels, we sleeve stubs and placement prints. It's really efficient, fast process.
Whereas we might have done 4 cycles of printing to finalize one print and one style, we are now just going into the final run after approval of our stamps digitally and our print set. So the whole process is very efficient. It's much faster than physical sampling, and frankly, it's more accurate than physical sampling.
So that's what about on-demand manufacturing. They are doing it for different purpose and different ideas. They use, they don't even take printout of patterns. They directly cut it on a single ply laser cutting machine. That's what you had seen. I have a better video for you to get more explanation on the same. And then so far we have seen on 3D technologies, pre-product, development processes area where we get sample approves or we make a custom clothing, and it's all in smaller way. Now let's see how CAD or computer technology is helping our mass production, our big factories where they have to cut large amount of fabrics, right? So we have cutting room which is capable of cutting more than 1,000 pieces or 2,000 pieces or something like that. So how do I do it? So as a student who is passing out, they should have an exposure, or at least they should have an idea of how that is going to be processed. If that idea is there, then they are they can easily adapt to the technology which is available in the industry, right? So better to give students an idea within, say, for just an example, say you have got an order of say 20,000 pieces with the 10 sizes, and the sizes are broken into these quantities, which is odd, it's not in ratio or something like that. then they can put their brain and do calculations how it can be. Excel plays an great way to do that. A lot of companies and even conventionally they use Excel reports to Excel files to do this cut planning. And students who learn, they should have this idea how this could be done. And once they learn those cutting room steps, then they can easily come up with innovative ideas how it can be used. And when it comes to cutting, there are a lot of key areas where we have to focus, right? If I have to make a best cut planning, I should know whether that plan is going to increase my spreading time, or whether it is going to increase my cutting time, or it is going to waste a lot of fabric in that. So there are so many permutation combinations in those areas to make the best possible cutting. We have done this with large big brand names also, and we have seen the benefits that this software helps a lot in saving the fabric, at the same time saving the time. Fabric, of course, is the #1 area where we have to look into when we see when we get into the mass manufacturing, right? So #1 is the planning. At the planning stage itself, we can save the fabric. The way how we plan is more important. There are different techniques, like simple one is longer the marker, better will be the utilization. The more the size combinations, better will be the fabric utilization. The more width variations that we do, and that could be yield us better efficiencies, right? So if cut planning itself is going to save a huge one, then we have something called within the marker saving, where we have a software called automatic marker making software, where it makes markers automatically based on the based on the information that we feed in, like time, whether I need to place these pieces in a shading way or matching way, or in a special way, like for border printing and all those stuffs. We can feed in all those data, or we can do half marker, where I have a constraint on the placements, and balance we can ask system to do automatically. All those things can be done with the smart marker. We call that as fabric saving within the marker. And cut plan software, what I was explaining earlier, is fabric saving out of the marker, where planning itself will give us a huge savings. So this is a screenshot of Tuka plan, where the planning for this order quantity of 6,000 pieces is done with 3 markers, and the breakups have been done. However it is planned. So 7 bundle and 11, it gives an instant cost report. The spreading cost would be this much, end loss will be this much, cutting cost will be this much, and you have an option to look how many bundles I have to cut, how many plies I have to spread. Those are quick information for that particular plan. If I go and change some information on this cut plan and click on do fresh cut plan, it will give another result instantly, and we can find out which one is best one by looking into number of cuts, bundles, and all those stuffs. So it's more into manufacturing stuffs and mass manufacturing stuffs. But this in terms of student learnings, cut planning as a must to people who are getting into factory area. Even merchandisers, they should have to have an idea on how this has to be done. If ratio is not there, these are common terms that is discussed in industry. So students getting an idea about cut planning and all those stuffs will help the industry. I would want all the faculties to give a small insight of cut order planning or how the industry works, especially when you send them for an internship or a factory visit. You can give them before or after their visits. You can give them that this is how the calculations have been done, and this is how it has been worked, and fabric saving is huge way, and there are different types of cuttings, and all those stuffs will help students to face the industry without any fear. And this is another screenshot how they calculated uh, for this many garments what is their total fabric needed, which is in this case it is shown in yards, 5,773 or 774 yards you need it, and you need per garment is 1.314 is fabric consumption. So all those things, it's more accurate, more clear, and how many markers has to be cut, all the informations are there within this, right? And then coming to CAD data storage, now we have seen so many things like cut order planning, different markers for different widths, and different combinations for shrinkages. For denims industry, it's totally different, same pattern, same style, but having multiple shrinkage lots, and you have to make multiple patterns for that. For women's wear, you have different sizes and different colorways. You have to plan your cut order planning for different colorways. All those things are going to generate a lot of digital data. And how do we save it? So we have to have a proper storage saving area. The concept of how it has to be saved, that also has to be taken care. With this current situation, now having a CAD room and a small LAN area and asking all the people to save it on that, it's not going to help, because now this situation, we don't know how the future is going to be. Work from home is going to be a kind of 50-50 people working, and even in future, if there will be a lot of travels involved, even if COVID is gone and there are a lot of travel involved for pattern makers also, then it's a mandatory thing to have everyone and remote access to their data anywhere, anytime, right? So all our customers, they before even COVID situation, they started using some kind of storage drive like Dropbox, Google Drive, you would have heard. Netstor, which you may not have heard, but that is a paid one, and they use that. And main thing from teaching side, you have to give them guidance how that has to be handled, right? I have seen lots of people who have a background of their education. After they come in, and then when they work, they get a lot of stuff which has to be saved in their desktops, and they just save it in a scattered way. They don't know how to hold those things. So as an esteemed college and university area, you have to give an idea or suggestion to the students how they have to handle a huge data of customers. Let it be any field, let it be QA or merchants, or from a designer's point of view, whatever the area is, they should have their data in an organized way, right? So this is an example of an structure of one of the biggest company manufacturers available. So different buyers names, and then you have block patterns, costing patterns, productions, it's categories, folder, the accounts they work in, the group they have it. So this is an example, typical example of how to save. And software is now, I told you before, software is available on subscriptions. So when it's not only $2, you can get it in so you also have come up with subscriptions. And for students, we are the only one who come up with $1 subscription for 1 month, first month. Students can rent it on their home when they are, and they can make their patterns on their computer with just $1 for the first month. And then, so there are different libraries in when they go into web and sign in, they have different libraries like 3D assets, graphic integrations, and flat sketches. They can get guidance of how the garments are in Western styles, and they can get the graphics details also. This is basically helping the students who rent the software, and if they want to expand more, they can go ahead with that. And then yes, CAD CAM. We have seen most of the CAD part, pattern making, grading, and marker making, with custom clothing and all those stuffs in cut planning. CAM is like I told you, I will play a video for laser cutting machine. You will understand how it is useful to cut. So that was a laser cutting machine where you can cut even on sequel fabric, you can cut nets, you can cut wovens, you can cut any kind of fabrics with laser cutter. And but it is for one layer. You can use it for sample cutting, and you can use it for custom clothing, right? And this is another thing for CAM side. You have inkjet plotters, which you know, this is like you have for last 30 years it is available. And the newer one is a cutting plotter, where you can, at the bottom image you can see it's a pattern cutter. It can cut the brown sheet and give the pattern separately, and no need for a master to cut it and store it. So it is required for sample checking and sample cut parts checking, or in the production to check the bulk cut parts. They needed a long life pattern, so this brown sheets will help in for them, right? And then you have an automatic spreading machines. Of course, people, we do a lot of manual spreading for cotton fabrics, for shirt fabrics, trousers and denims, kind of okay. But speed-wise, automatic fabric spreader is much more efficient. And consistency-wise, consistency means uh, the end loss, wherever you start and stop, if you maintain exactly, you can really save a fabric on that. So automatic spreader helps, and it plays a very major role when it comes to knitted fabrics. Manually, when we spread, we had to stretch a lot. We will end up stretching it, and then when we leave the lay for relaxation, it will go back, and there will be a lot of wrinkles, and cut parts will be, though my pattern is correct and all my hard work is done correctly, due to bad spreading, it affects my garment quality, right? So this plays a very important role when it comes to knitted fabrics or any stretch fabrics. Even in denims, if you have an lycra mix, it's better to have an automatic spreader to control the fabric spreadings. Okay, so when you have an automatic cutting machine where it does precise cutting, you can calculate the you can actually plan perfectly with your automatic cutting machine for this much lay, this much time, and all those stuffs. And we are teaching students on the marker planning, right? And in that planning, because we have done it in CAD, we can actually find out what is the perimeter, total perimeter that is cut. If we know that, then we will know how much cutting has to be done by a cutter, manual cutter or automatic cutter. We will know that. So when we know that, we can actually find out how much time it will take to cut one lay. And the planning of my whole cutting room, we can do it precisely for all 8 hours or 10 hours of working, and we can plan it accordingly, provided the fabric rolls are available as per the data, right? So then you have an unit production system where you have hanger systems. Per one garment in one hanger carries all the parts and travels to one sewing operator to another sewing operator. So this is another technology where it helps a lot for improvising your production, and handling time is also much less. And it's with this we can also produce multiple garments if the planning is the system is planned in a perfect way. They can produce any garments, in the same line. It's a huge technology involved in that. The implementation is also involved. Yes, so this is all about the CAD system, how this industry is facing, and how it can be useful. So thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to stop my sharing now.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
That was actually a wonderful session. And so with your permission, I would like to read out the questions raised by the participants.
Yeah, please. Okay, some people have not seen. Okay, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. So here one question is from Adarsh Chavan. Can you please send the software name and cost details for institute purpose?
Yeah, so you can contact me through email. I have given the email address in that same PowerPoint presentation. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sir. We will be sharing the PowerPoint in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Yes. And no.
See, the thing is, we have this students. We have $1 for 1 month. Students can directly go to the website. They can just subscribe it. They can use it on their home computer itself. So $1 for Tuka CAD pattern making, grading, marker making, and there is a $1 offer for Tuka 3D designer edition also. But designer edition, you will have to have a higher configuration PC. So students have to go through the system requirements and see if that is available in their computer. If it is, then you can go ahead and try even the 3D software for $1 for the first month.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, please you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question, or you can drop your question in the chat box. There is one question from Gautam Shetty. Any minimum capage or capacity on number of licenses to be purchased for educational institutions?
Actually, sir, it's like you can buy as many licenses you want, but the charges is per license wise. So there is no restrictions as such, but the price will be more when you go for more licenses.
Okay, thank you, sir. I hope we have answered the question. Participants, anybody has questions?
This session is more than the software itself. The session is not the process flow, the technology, how industry is adapting, and what you can teach to your students and make their knowledge more broader when they come in. That's what the main focus of this session.
Yes, there is more practical, and we need to have more knowledge. Okay.
Ganesh sir,
very
good afternoon. Sonia ma'am here. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. But I was just thinking, probably we could have, can we have a special session, sir, so that, it would be beneficial for all the colleges so that, everybody can use the software as well as have the know-how of how to go about using it in a more elaborate manner, because the time is too short what we gave you.
Yes, actually, each and every slides I could have expanded for 1 hour session. It's so big, vast industry, vast areas. We can try and find out, ma'am. Luckily, I was available and my time was there for this session.
Yeah.
I immediately said, "Fine, I'm fine. I can do it."
I know you're a busy man, but then, you'll have to make some time for people because, all teachers need to get used to the software so that, it's more beneficial to everybody.
Sure, ma'am. We can find out. We can sit down and discuss.
Sure, sir.
Schedule some
Sure.
time.
And probably you can actually also mention about various softwares that are available for colleges, if the colleges want to go in for softwares, so that, it would be more beneficial for them.
Sure, ma'am. I will plan accordingly in the next session. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. It was very interesting.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with our participants. Indeed, it was an interesting and very informative session. On behalf of Ritesh School of Fashion Technology and Interior Design in association with Bengaluru Central University, we once again thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and detailing on the topic apparel computer aided design. Dear participants, yes, sir.
Thank
Dear
you.
participants, okay, thank you, sir. Dear participants, the feedback form is shared in the chat box. Please fill the feedback form. It will be active only for 10 to 15 minutes. Please fill in time. And please note, the third session by Dr. Bhagyalakshmi on topic pattern making will start at sharp 2 p.m. You all are requested to join the meeting at least 5 minutes prior to the commencement of the session. Thank you.